do it.
All right, so Ian, my favorite question. I love it because we get some of the best ideas from some of the best people out there. My question to you is, if you were king of tennis, whatever it takes, if it's just in Wisconsin, if it's the entire world, if you're king of tennis, is there anything you would do or change?
Yeah, and I'm sure you probably get a lot of answers to that question that are related to like the growth of the game, and my answer is not going to be is not going to be so altruistic. It is altruistic. Like I personally believe it would be for the dramatic benefit of the sport. I'm not smart enough, and I'm not anywhere near close to the top enough to have any understanding of how to fix our like participation problem or people going to pickleball or anything like that. But just based on my little corner of the sports and my little corner of media in our sports and my little corner of like instructional like methodology, I feel like if I could snap my fingers and change one thing about the game, it would be the universal acceptance and even excitement of video being involved with the amateur game of tennis. There, for whatever reason, I really can't explain it. You guys have probably, you're tennis pros, so you've probably been around golf at least a little bit. Video was adopted in the game of golf as far as being a training aid, a teaching aid, a learning aid, like 20 years ago. And it blows my mind that my students still get looked at sideways for setting up their phone on a tripod to record themselves so that they can find out what the hell they're actually doing on the court. And because there's so much resistance and friction, and I don't know if it's like an ego thing or like I mean, part of it is like, oh, are you better like than us, you know, kind of thing. There's so much, and even coaches, like same thing. Uh, we could talk about this for like 2-3 hours easily. It blows my mind that video is not a normal part of a tennis lesson. And it blows my mind that video is not a normal part of playing tennis for tennis players. There's only upside in finding out like what is actually happening out there on the courts. The revelations that are available by being able to have a third party perspective, besides your coach saying like, no, you didn't follow through, it's a whole other layer and level of understanding and insight when you actually see yourself move. And as a coach, it's a whole other layer of insight and understanding when you see your student in 200 frames a second and you realize that, oh, that weird jerky thing they're doing with their arm isn't happening until after they've actually hit the ball. So this has nothing to do with like their follow through. There's like something going on there that doesn't make sense. And the ability to explain that and actually target the right elements at the right times is severely limited when coaches don't even know what's happening on the other side of the courts. So if I was king of tennis, I would snap my fingers and I would make video normal for the entire game on the instructional side, on the player side, and it would open the eyes. There's like so much condescension and like I keep losing to like worse players. There's like game style like shaming around like pushers and like people think they're so much better than they are, and they just have this like layer of this like separation between themselves and reality that makes it so hard for coaches to communicate with students. It makes it so hard for students to receive messages from coaches. And if we could just wipe all that out and just all be on the same page, I feel like the game would be more accessible, it'd be more friendly. People would be less judgmental. They'd be more accepting of other levels and other playing styles, and lessons would be more valuable. Students would learn faster. Why are we not doing this?
Wait,
I really don't
Ian, you
understand.
lost me. Are we talking about tennis or are we talking about life?
Oh, dude, I mean,
this
that's
sounds
kind of scary. Yeah.
suspiciously like life to me. I don't know.
I found Bobby's theme for the conversation. He's like, this sounds like life again.
And plus, he opened up Pandora's box again. Okay, I'm with you. Where does it start? Where did tennis go? So, like you said, using golf as the role model, the things that happen in golf that don't happen in tennis. Just the sheer, and we've spoken about this 1,000 times, the worth of a PGA card as opposed to a USPTA, USPTR sponsorship or certification. I'm sorry. You know, that is the problems are inherent in our industry, that our industry from the top down did not support us enough. came up with the formula, as you said, Ian, that they propagate. And technology, let's just say technology across the board was so not a part of it. I remember, and again, we'll go back, I'll date myself on this. As you said about video, I was in a program, the first serious program I started to play when I was 12. They offered video with 8mm cameras. Excuse me.
That's incredible, dude.
If anybody knows what an 8mm camera is, and it was unbelievably exciting. And like you said, the worth of seeing yourself. And I say this to my students all the time, as a player who starts off older, one of the things you miss out on so much is not just watching yourself, watching other people and saying, do I look like that? Because you don't have the time. So you're trying to rush. Adults want to be told. They're trying to catch up. Man, I started late. What do I do? And so many of the times, the simplest things, go watch yourself. Like you said, my favorite line from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, again, dating myself, I'll remove the cause, not the symptom. We diagnose the symptom. What's the cause? And you're right. And it makes it interesting, but as you said, we can go on. So let's schedule them again next week, Shaun.
I was gonna say, we'll see you again tomorrow, Ian.
Weekly.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bring lunch. And again, I don't know if you've heard, there's 80,000 recreational tennis players here in Metro Atlanta. If you ever want to come down and spend a week, let's see if we can't do an Ian tour. And I'm always into having other people hear different opinions, because if you agree, or it can't hurt. They're either going to agree with what you're believing in, or they're going to go someplace else. Any of those three options makes your life easier. So I'm all for them.
Well, I love what you guys are doing. Really respect it a lot, especially as being people actually working from inside the industry. Again, like, I really respect you guys a lot for giving people a look on the inside, what coaches are actually thinking, what they're actually feeling, what they're actually going through. Peek behind the curtain, I think, is important for club members, people who are participating in the game. They need to be educated about how hard it is to do the job that you guys are doing day to day, and the challenges that are just inherent in that career. So thank you guys for doing what you're doing. And like I said before, I don't have any answers as far as like the big picture in tennis, but I'm always happy to shoot the breeze and talk about what we're passionate about. So thank you for having me on the episode. I hope your listeners really enjoy it.
Well, we'd love to help introduce what you do to the Atlanta market, because Atlanta is, unfortunately, we like going outside of the bubble, because we look at Atlanta so unique, because we are more HOA subdivision driven. The classic club really doesn't exist here, especially a tennis only club. It's your bigger clubs that have tennis. They're usually an amenity just as well of golf. So it's always the stepchild. So, we are a little bit different. So we always like to hear different perspectives, but there's a lot of similarities in the bubble. And like I said, we always enjoyed your stuff, and anything we can do to do some stuff together, let's put on our hats and think about it.
And we've got a few 55-year-old 3.5 level players here in the area. I'm pretty sure. But Ian, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. We will be in touch, and hopefully we're going to do it again sometime.
Thank you for having me, guys. Really appreciate it, and happy to come back on anytime.